Welcome back. It is my pleasure to introduce our next guest. David Corbin has had a big life in corporate everything. He's managed, he's led, he's taught, and now he is just not doing corporate life, now he's moving on to life. And we're going to talk about lifestyle and moving on and illuminating everything you want to make better in your life. Welcome, David Corbin.
Thank you. I'm in life now.
You are?
That's very cool.
Well.
Yeah. I am a recovering corporate kind of guy.
I know.
And I did enjoy that because, corporations are made up of people, right?
Oh, there is that.
And there are some people that they don't act like people in corporate. But the people that I got to work with, it was wonderful because it's all about getting real, being authentic, and today's leaders, thank goodness for the feminization of today's industry,
right.
There is more authenticity, there's more transparency, and you're seeing some of the strength, but with kindness, and I'll use the L word, with love.
With love,
yeah.
and that's actually acceptable, and it's different from what you and I knew from the 70s and 80s on Wall Street, but today there's a whole new perspective, and you are right in the thick of it. You're writing about it, you're speaking on it, you're really living, that's the life part. So let's talk a little bit about, David is an author. These are 3 of his 6 books, Psyched on Service, Illuminate, and Preventing Brand Slaughter. So let's talk about Illuminate, because this is a concept whose time has been overdue, and you're illuminating it. So tell us about this.
Thank you for the opportunity of sharing it. I love talking about this concept. For many years when working with clients, corporate clients and whatnot, I found that the most successful, the people who really generated great value from the work that we've done together, were individuals who had the courage to look at problems. I mean, really look at issues.
As opposed to sweeping them under the rug.
You know the song, I loved watching this with my little girl on VHS tapes with the dancing bear. You got to accentuate the positive and eliminate the negative. And I realized my most successful clients were those who didn't eliminate the negative, rather they'd illuminate the negative. And so instead of pushing it under the carpet, they would look at the problems. But we don't have a solution. It's okay. Maybe we don't have the resources of time, money, and know-how, but let's look at it as a group. And as opposed to, if you have a problem, bring it to me, but make sure you bring a solution with it. Well, I don't have a solution.
Right.
So I smell smoke, I don't know where it's coming from, but I'll just shut up.
So let's shine some light on the smoke and figure out what we need to do together to fix it.
I'm going to use that line. Thank you very much.
Cool.
Yeah, we illuminate the negative in a positive light.
Amazing.
And the model goes on, it's very simple. It's face it, because you can't solve anything that unless you face. In fact, we say, I think it was James Baldwin said, we can't solve everything we face, but we can't solve anything unless we face it.
That's true.
And so I took it and I said, face it, follow it, and fix it.
So follow the trail and see where it leads you, and then come up with the fix.
And it's funny because you follow it in 2 different directions. Follow it in the past in terms of what's causing it. Right? Where are we coming? Where did it come from? And then you look at it in the present, what's keeping it alive? And that out to the future, if we don't mitigate this, what's going to happen? So follow it as broad.
These theories, even though they're born out of business, this is where the life part comes on, right?
You got it.
Because these are still topics, these are still practices, these are really great theories of just how to live a better life in general.
Absolutely.
I think about this with my teenagers. I've been a student of yours for about a year now, David, and understanding how I try to do the face it, follow it, fix it in my own life, in my personal life, and I have become a lot more detail oriented with my children, and I'm a lot more willing to address questions, and I stay there's nothing off topic, and it's just been wonderful because everybody wants to talk, and the kids want to talk.
Give me a fist pump on that.
Boom! So excellent work.
It's get real. Our kids will say something, and we often say, because I said so.
Right.
Well, that's informative and instructive. And in fact, I was interviewed, I think it was Oprah Radio, and they said, well, how does the Illuminate model go into the family? And I said that they were trying to stump me, but it was so simple. You think of your teenager comes home, and maybe she's not acting herself on a Friday night. She's a good student, and she's good at soccer, So we'll just forget that she doesn't smell right and she's not acting right. You see where I'm going?
Yeah,
And so, but she's a good student, so we're going to accentuate the positive and we're going to eliminate the negative, and it happens again.
Right.
That's a problem. So when you face it straight up, sweetheart, I notice and I'd like to talk with you because we have a magnificent relationship, whatever. And so you face it. My goodness, if you follow it in your own mind, God forbid,
Sure.
she could, get involved too much in the wrong stuff. Then you'll have the courage to face it and face it lovingly and whatnot. But when you keep things under the carpet, like mushrooms, they multiply in the dark.
That's so true. And I found also it really helps, like in my personal relationships, helping people even identify their own feelings. Because have you ever kind of been in a situation where you're like, I just don't feel good and I'm so irritated, but you don't really know why?
Right.
When you face it and you follow it, you can help your loved ones or yourself really identify what that is, and then it allows you to kind of fix it.
This is crazy because we just had this conversation this morning around the breakfast table.
Really?
Absolutely. And so we're able to dialogue it and say, okay, well let's face it and get real. It's about the Buddhists and many religions. In fact, most religions. If I were to say the following, they would say, "Be still and know that I am." Right? Every single one. But we're not often still to say, how am I feeling? What's really going on here right now? That's why with my clients, I do a lot of mentoring right now, and I used to just do it with famous people and executives. Now I do it with not so famous people. I do it with magnificent entrepreneurs, and I love entrepreneurs. My favorite entrepreneur in the world is the female entrepreneur, and my favorite entrepreneur is the single mother female entrepreneur. That's my favorite animal in the world because they're courageous and they're creative, and I know that I can help them, or at least I have this belief. And so, we teach and we believe that we've got to get real. We've got to get real serious. And I have every one of them meditate 22 minutes a day. Why? To get centered, to get grounded.
To force the quiet.
And then I have them do meditation, which is you're meditating, but you're also concentrating. It's okay to think and write those notes down. So that's my new thing, meditation, and it works. So I'm all about the entrepreneur. I'm all about getting real. And I know a lot of our listeners or viewers are more interested in their life than their business. And that's why I say illuminate your health, your food, the water you're taking in, the thoughts, the people you're hanging with. Get real about that, get very serious, and live a big, delicious life.
And all of your favorite entrepreneurs, I'm sure, are part of the reason that you wrote this most recent book, which is Preventing Brand Slaughter. And you and I, our history goes back to sharing things like branding and personal branding and working with entrepreneurs in that arena. But what I really love, again, a concept born out of business, taken into a life situation.
Yeah.
So you and I were chatting, congratulations, you have a new granddaughter. Your daughter just got married and you're expecting a grandson later this year, so it's really a big life year for you.
It really is.
And how does that look for you? You were talking about branding yourself as grandpa.
Well, yeah. See, in business, we have a brand. We know we have this brand. And I teach in business that we're either living this brand, I call that brand integrity, or we're killing the brand, and I call that brand slaughter in the first, second, or third degree. And we know if somebody commits manslaughter or woman slaughter, they're going to jail. But people conduct brand slaughter all the time. They're not going to jail, and they're killing the brand.
They're killing your business.
One is only to look at certain things like United Airlines, etc. And it's sad, but they're doing that.
Yeah.
Now, we as people have our own personal brand, and I firmly believe you're either working in integrity with that brand or you're killing the brand. So I think my new brand is going to be as a grandpa with my grandchildren, and I'm thinking, how do I want to behave? How do I want them to feel? What do I want them to say about me when they can talk and all? And so, I think it's getting serious and taking a look at yourself. She knew me when I was about almost 50 pounds heavier.
Really?
And yes, and I would get out of the shower and I would run past the mirror. I didn't want to see that.
Not illuminating that one, huh?
Exactly, but then I did. Then I realized after a crazy set of experiences where I'd run out of breath just by being with a client. I was in a photo shoot and I got up and I was like dizzy, and I heard my doctor's voice. He said, David, technically, I don't want to be offensive, but you're obese. You're on statin drugs and trichlor and triglyceride. You're not healthy. And I had to illuminate. The great illuminator had to illuminate, to face it, follow it, and fix it. And I faced it. I faced that I was obese. I followed it and went, why am I obese? Well, nobody's putting stuff in my mouth.
But you.
Right? And at night, because I used to love wine, at night I would drink wine, and then you get hungry, right? Your blood sugar, and then I'd eat food, and I'd go to bed.
Right.
Every day. And I realized, and I didn't know this, I was training to be an athlete. There's an athlete that they feed a lot of alcohol, a lot of food, and put them to bed. Sadly, that athlete is called the sumo wrestler. I was training to be a sumo wrestler.
Oh my gosh, that's a whole new arena for you to illuminate going forward.
Yeah.
We're so happy to have you. We would love to have you back and talk some more. And I know you have another book coming up,
Yes.
and it's called?
It's called Resanity, Truths About Food, Pharma, and Lifestyle.
Oh, so we're just
Yeah.
going to have you back for that. For now, where can people find you? Where can our viewers find you?
Well, you know, at my age, I've been around a little bit. My name is David Corbin. I've had it for a long time. If you go to David Corbin on the web, you're going to find davidcorbin.com and all kinds of books and hopefully nice things. So davidcorbin.com.
DavidCorbin.com. David Corbin, thank you so
Wonderful.
much.
Thank you for having me.
It's been a pleasure. And we'll be right back.